Hello, thank you for joining me. My name is Joseph Ramon, and this is my video presentation over my ePortfolio that contains many of my graduate courseworks from the University of Kansas and the High Incidence Disabilities Special Education Program. As we begin, I would like to take you through a thorough walkthrough of my ePortfolio. This portfolio can be found at jramonsped.weebly.com. As you can see listed, this ePortfolio is from the teacher and non-teacher track. I began my coursework at KU on the teacher track and was able to fulfill the requirements within the first practicum. Yet, when I began the second practicum, I was in a new teaching position, and I soon found out I was unable to fulfill the requirements within that second practicum. So I contacted KU, and I was allowed to move from the teacher to the non-teacher track. As you scroll down, you will find an autobiography that has a quick overview of who I am and how I arrived at being a special educator. Everything in my ePortfolio is on one page. Each artifact is listed in order as they are listed on the list of artifacts from SPED 898B. They go in the same order, and there are 14 of them. Beginning with the first artifact, the teacher interview, you will see that each artifact has its name, the course that it was produced in, and a description of the course and what the course is or was. Beneath that, each white tab is the actual artifact. If you click on these white buttons, like for this one will take you to a YouTube video of my first artifact, the teacher interview. Beneath each white button are gray buttons, and these gray buttons are of the reflections for each of these artifacts. The artifacts follow in order from left to right, and as you scroll down, many of the artifacts are of a Word document. So for instance, the Common Core Standards artifact is found within a Word document. So if you click on that button, it will take you to the Word document, and you will be able to review the artifact for yourself. And of course, the reflections again are listed in a gray button right beneath the white buttons. The third artifact from SPED 743 has many documents for review, as I couldn't put each of these documents within one button. I had to separate them into 6 different buttons. As you continue, there is another teaching video. If you click on this, it will also take you again to a YouTube video. As you scroll down and you arrive at the Modern Educator artifact from SPED 841, you will see beneath the artifact button there is a comment that says, "Please use the following information to access the website content." I provided a username and password for you to access the website content. I am unaware if you have a um, username or password for Schoology, and I am also unaware if you are able to access it without a certain or particular code. So to make things easy, I would like for you to use the username and password I have provided. So when you click on the button, Modern Educator, it will take you directly to Schoology. It will actually take you directly to this page here. You will have to type in the username, which is josephar25@gmail.com. The password is UTTyler13. That is capital UTTYLER 13. And then you log in. And if you have to, you will then click on Courses, Modern Educator, SPED 841. For some, it might take you directly to this page once you log in, and for some, it may not. So you will have to click again Courses, Modern Educator, and it will bring you to this page. Once you arrive to this page, you will then click on the file, Modern Educator Final Project, and it will open up other documents. There are many documents listed here. There are videos, links, PDFs, and also Word documents. This project here, I chose to provide it in my artifacts because I feel that it shows who I am as an educator myself in today's modern society. As you continue through my artifacts, you will see that the remaining are Word documents, such as Part 1 and 2 of Social Skills. It will, of course, open up a Word document. It will download and open up a Word document. And since these Part 1 and Part 2 are considered the same artifact, there is one reflection that reflects on both Part 1 and Part 2. The family interview from SPED 854 is my final artifact that you will be able to view. I've decided to make my e-portfolio as simple as possible for anyone and everyone to be able to access. Now, as we move on, after the walkthrough of the e-portfolio, I would like to share with you as to why I chose these particular artifacts. I chose these artifacts because I feel they express who I am as 1, an individual, 2, a teacher, and 3, a student. Though some of these artifacts may have been within a week of a particular course or within the 8 weeks of one course, they express what I am and how I feel. They express what they express how I dedicate myself to education and how I dedicate myself to my learnings. I feel that they helped me in collaboration. They helped me in learning what it is that I want to become as an educator. And also, many of them were the large projects within these courses, and these large projects involved a lot of sweat and tears. And with those sweat and tears, I was really able to show um, how I fit into our educational teaching society, how I contribute myself to those things. Um, Honestly, that's how I feel, and that is really the reason as to why I chose them. Of course, I was told to choose some of them, um, but other than that, um, they give an idea as to who I am in education, to who I want to become, and to who I once was. In reviewing these artifacts, I did become stressed at times. And the reason that originally I felt that I did everything I possibly could to provide evidence, to provide um, work, to provide my ethics in contributing to my coursework, to contributing to my school. And so having to go back to past things, I was first very overwhelmed. At first, asking questions as to why I have to do this. It was already done. It was already, why fix something that's not broken in that sense? That's how I felt. It took me until about the fifth or sixth artifact for me to realize, oh, this makes sense. I'm able to reflect on how I was then and how I am now. In 2 years, from the first day of classes to now, I am a totally different educator. I'm not as naive. I don't think that every classroom can be perfect. In order to actually get by in a classroom, there's going to be flaws, there's going to be mistakes, because that's how we grow. That's how I grow as an educator, that's how I grow as a student, and I know that's how my students grow. Um, so by me reflecting upon my work, whether I thought it was great to begin with, has really opened my eyes to how I am becoming, how I am succeeding, how I need to revisit some things, how I need to adjust, how I need to, in a sense, provide for my students. In revising these artifacts, it sometimes became difficult for me because I felt that a lot of the feedback that I received from some of my instructors was not very thorough. It was just maybe great job, maybe try this, or you've left this little part out. But other than that, great, fantastic job. So with some of that feedback, I wasn't able really to go in, other than make a tweak with a word or a sentence. I wasn't really able to go back and fully correct something. And many of them I couldn't correct at all because that would require me to then interview the person again, re-record the interview, possibly find a different interviewee because I was no longer in contact with that first interviewee. Um, so revisions were hard. Um, and then revisions at the same time were easy because many of my products, without tooting my own horn, um, were great to begin with. The point of view I used in writing my reflections were where I am now as an educator, where I stand currently. It was very difficult for me to revise and edit many of the artifacts because they were interviews, they were videos, and I was unable to re-record many of these lessons. I was unable to re-interview many of these interviewees. I no longer work with some of these students. Um, I no longer am at the within the same position I was when some of these artifacts were created. So reflecting, pretty much just I shared what I may have changed word wise, what sentences I may have added or deleted. Um, the reflections were kind of a small piece for me. I kind of, in a sense, left them on the back burner because I focused more on the artifact and what the artifact was rather than me reflecting upon it. Um, my own opinion, the reflection did nothing for me as a teacher or a student. The reflection was just a document with unnecessary material. That is my own opinion, and that is my point of view I took on the reflection. As this presentation comes to a close, I would like to answer two last questions. What it was like to create this e-portfolio, and what I learned in the process. In creating this e-portfolio, I actually had a great time. I liked being able to design the website. I liked being able to design something from scratch. Yes, there was a template that I used, but many of the findings within my e-portfolio were created by me. Of course, the artifacts were written and created by myself. They express who I am as a learner, an educator, and an individual. Um, I did experience, a trial while creating this e-portfolio. Just hours before today, I actually lost all the content within the portfolio. I accidentally deleted the entire page with all my artifacts, with all the wording, everything. All that was left was my name and my email address. It was quite devastating. I was in pure panic just hours before today. Um, but luckily, I contacted customer service for the website. They were able to restore the website to my original product. And so I didn't have to go forth with finishing the rebuild of the website. I actually started rebuilding the website last night, just in case when I was able to contact the customer service today that they would tell me, "I'm sorry, we can't do anything for you." So I was in pure panic mode, but it all worked out. What I learned from the process was, one, make sure you don't delete any content from your webpage because it's not like you can just save it uh, on a flash drive. I guess creating a website doesn't work that way. But what I learned in revisiting the artifacts, what I learned in just this course itself was how I've grown as an educator, the improvements I've made, the sacrifices I've made. I've really learned that, man, this is really something I do love doing. I do love being an educator. I do love working with children. I do love getting up every single day and going to school. Um, and I am pretty good at it because I'm very dedicated to it. Um, I like being able to see um, the gaps that I've closed for myself and for my students. I love that I've learned how to push myself to succeed, how I've been able to push myself through 2 more years of school, push myself to earning another degree. I learned so much again as a human, as an educator, and as a student. Um, I know as an educator, you ne- I never stop learning. Um, and I am very grateful to have had the opportunity to further my career in special education, to make mistakes and learn from them. Thank you very much for your time. I hope you've enjoyed my e-portfolio, and I hope you've also enjoyed working with me as I've enjoyed working with you.